lovely day. We're in Isola, just south of west of Trieste, and we're looking straight west right now. So if we move around, there's to the north, you will see Monfalcone. You will see the Duino. Well, okay, you can't see through the town, but Trieste is about there. And so, given the day, and given that I've got an open question from an applicant, supplicant, or whatever they call them, subscribers, yeah, that's what they are, I thought I would cull two bards with one stum. The question being, on this day of Joyce, was, where are you putting all your books? Are you crowding out your family? Well, okay, so here is the Corona SAMIZDAT warehouse and headquarters. And I thought what I would do is, in showing this, because not everybody who's picked up this channel knows who I am or what I do. There I am, that's what I do. But I'm the author of some of these books, but by no means all of them. And I thought I would point out the books that have influence evident of James Joyce. Now, right there is Jeff Bursey's Unidentified Man at Left of Photo, very much influenced by, not so much directly by Joyce, but by those influenced by Joyce in that little runnel of literature of the United States that has been allowed to sort of sluice off and do what it wants. Beginning with Joyce, who is not from the United States, lucky man, and then there's Bhairavi. Hi, Bhairavi. Hi. Say hi. Who? No, hi. Hi. Okay. Anyway, that's Bhairavi, and she's influenced by Joyce. So, the runnel led to many, but not very many, not far from enough if you look at my previous video, writers. Then you have my own Driftless trilogy, and I'd say yes, definitely influenced by Joyce in its freedom with wordplay and so on, but maybe as much influenced by a sort of demented view of Raymond Carver and a real serious academic view of Roberto Arlt as well. But Joyce, yes. David Vardaman, influenced by Joyce, the hardest question of them all. I don't know, because there was Kafka and Pessoa and all kinds of craziness. And so I don't know. Now, there's Bursey again with his short stories, An Impalpable Certain Rest. And I think that probably the influence is much more difficult to find, but it's probably in the bones of him somewhere. This is my Wandering Stone, which is a book about this town of Isola, and slight, very, very slight influence of Jimmy the Joyce. Another hard one is Chandler Brossard. Wake Up, We're Almost There. And let's see if we have As the Wolf Howls at My Door. That is back there. Oh, and that's him right there. That's his passport that got canceled. Yeah, Chandler Brossard. He's unfortunately dead now, but there's As the Wolf Howls at My Door. Brossard definitely was influenced to some degree by Joyce, but I think it took quite some time, and I think it was probably much more indirect. But by the time he got to the late 60s, early 70s, when he wrote these two and this wonderful little book about Vietnam, Raging Joys, Sublime Violations. He was a Joycean writer, whether he liked it or not. Two of my big books, or my two big books, Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas, definitely there's a Joycean, but more Rabelaisian, I would think, influence. Walk Like a Duck is a diary about baseball, but it takes place in the Trieste surrounds. And yes, there is Joyce, and he's even mentioned in Joyce is mentioned in this one too, and for a couple of reasons, but more to do with his life, less to do with his writing. Now, The Cult of the Cactus Boots is, I think it's one of those books definitely influenced by Joyce, in that the style often matches the need of the content, but also in that this is, I think, the latest of the great works by it's just out, by that Runnel. It's maybe going to expand the Runnel into a tunnel. There are word tunnels in here. So a tunnel and a Runnel. And if that's not Joycean, what is? My Assassination of Olaf Palme is an anthological novel, and definitely influenced by Joyce, but definitely its own beast. I think once you're influenced by Joyce, you can't say that you're not. Cynicism Management, influenced by Joyce or not? Well, it's just plain satire, and I don't really know if there's any Joycean influence, because we had big satires long before Joyce, and we'll always have big satires, and so maybe not. My memoir, let's just drop it because it's too much about drinking and, it's sad. All right. Vardaman's flip book, which is 2 novels. And again, we have Vardaman and I Don't Know. Skulls of Istria, probably among my novels, the least influenced by Joyce, although there is a certain amount of wordplay and a nod to history. My Circumnavigation Through Maritime History has a certain Joycean lilt here and there, perhaps, but that's not really saying much. However, Tendrilopolis, the epistolary novel by Vesna Radic, very much a Joycean romp. I would say very much she was influenced by Joyce. And now the thing is that this long after Joyce's, we're almost up to 100 years from the publication of Ulysses, the original 1922. And so when we talk about, strong influence, what it means is that it's been passed from person to person to person, generation to generation to generation, and survived. And a spirit and a way of using language. And I think that it's not as if this couldn't have been written without Joyce having been born and lived and written. But I think, yes, definitely there's a Joyce there. And it ain't Carol Oates, I'll tell you that much. What did we miss here? There must be something here that we've... She sang to them, she sang. W.D. Clark. Now, what you know James Joyce for, before you know anything else, is the... I wanted to say automatic writing, but I couldn't because that's not what I mean. I mean... I'm having a moment of dementia. Maybe if I read this, I will... what do you call it? What do you call it? I don't know if I pause if this will come back, but you know what I mean, right? Subconscious, automatic, subconscious. That kind of thing. Well, he does it in his own way, but I think that it's a sort of alternative to stream of consciousness. There, we got it. I kept thinking runnel of consciousness. Now you got to go back here to make sure we've caught everything that the press has to catch, to speak in COVIDian terms. I don't know if I've missed any. There are 20-some books by our press, but I think I've established that our James Joyce is a very important person for us. Kramberger Opico, that's in Slovene. So all I can tell you is, sure, why not? Yeah, there's a Joycean influence for sure. No, there's another one too. Where are we? It's here somewhere. There it is. There it is. This is published by Maintenance Ends Press out of Iowa. Ice Cube Press is the main press. Maintenance Ends is the you know what, and the see, there went the dementia again. One of my favorite all-time covers by Jason Snyder of Long Island, and this is it's a definitely Joycean, but because it's broken up into voices, people call it Faulknerian. But it owes much more to Joyce than Faulkner, I would think. But mostly it owes its existence to me because I wrote the fucker. And, I acknowledge certain people have influenced me to certain degrees, and one of them was certainly James Joyce, and I think that's a very important thing. There's our logo, Corona SAMIZDAT. That was influenced by, me. Yeah, no, that was Tristan Zara that influenced that. Oh, and then we have this. This is very Joycean. This Vardaman is the large print edition, and because of Joyce's eyesight, it's very relevant to this discussion. And there's an impalpable certain resting place for it. I think it's right there. Okay. Now, if there's anything else that you want me to say, tell me now, because otherwise, here. Now is this Joycean, or is it more of a Dada thing? I mean, Herman Melville, Moby Dick, what a great book. Whoops, it's empty. Thank you, James Adler, for that. That is one of my most treasured items. And that is some sort of poisonous cleaning material that I try not to use very often. So yeah, Chandler Broussard and James Joyce. What a duo. Henry Miller might be thrown in there too. I don't know. I'm sure that Joyce influenced him, and I'm sure that Miller is similar to Broussard in very many ways. But they're Broussard here. See, in these two books, I guess this is what I want to say about Broussard. In these two books, Broussard said, "Fuck off, United States American literature. I'm going to write what I want." And like Miller, he was brilliant, but on the surface, it seemed that he was fucking off much of the time. But you find some utterly subversive intelligence and passages that are hilarious and very, very to the point, subversive, anti-capitalist, anti-fascist, and linking capitalism, fascism as well. So there you have it. That's me in the room, and that's who I am, what I do, and celebrate today with some James Joyce. And well, where are you, James? No pictures of him. The books are out on the balcony, so maybe I should end it there. Hey, Baidavi, say hi again. Say hi again. Come on.
Hi.
Again.
said hi again.
No, you're supposed to say again.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Some people just will not. There's my wife. And here's the Joyce collection. It's not the biggest in the world, but it is next to Alvaro Mutis, or he's next to them. I don't know. And then you got Flannery, and there's Sammy's trilogy.